Hi, friends. Host Eric here, talking with most people, and I want to talk about my precious Rachel in a somewhat, I guess, difficult video. I don't know. Rachel's had a tough couple of days here, and the thing is, I guess it raises a lot of interesting questions in general about what does one do when one loves somebody who periodically turns into a mega bitch, basically, for a little stretch of the time. What do you do? And it's totally not her fault, Well, the thing is, if you're Rachel, you have to endure something that you understand as being pretty embarrassing, undesirable, not what you would like to have happen in the narrative. She's embarrassed. She obviously has some problems with being confident about her own value in this relationship, and it stems from the fact that she, sometimes has these episodes. So the thing is, what I try to say to her is that we should just maybe talk it out on the live stream in general, that whole issue. But for her, it's something she's not as accustomed to as I am as a modality of solving problems. And she's not maybe also accustomed to a community that's understanding. She seeks out and sometimes catastrophizes negative comments people make and stuff like that. So, she's over here in the chair, but she's listening to music. I don't think she wants to listen to what I'm saying for happy reasons, I guess. The thing is, I really don't want to lose Rachel. And, it's such a different situation when you have somebody who lacks accountability. So, Rachel will be very accountable in the aftermath of these little spells. She doesn't seem to get. She's not precious to me for any specific reason. She's precious to me in general. That I love her and I want her to be happy and okay, Of course, that also means that when she gets dark and starts talking about various reasons why she thinks this relationship won't work, then I say, well, then I'll facilitate you out of it. You think you'll genuinely be happier by yourself, then I don't want to hold you back, Of course, it's a challenge to know whether or not that's Dr. Jekyll talking or Mr. Hyde talking, because it can sound very similar, Some people might say, well, Eric, you're suffering some kind of abuse or unfair treatment in this relationship, or it's not worth it for you, or yada yada yada. Well, it's a lot different than Kimberly was, So a bunch of different circumstances. When Rachel's not in a state of what I would consider catastrophizing, which is basically the gist of what it looks like. She's an INFJ who's bearing the burden of having once again succumbed to that thing, right? She's also an incredibly good person. She struggles with the idea that she might be a burden to me, or that she isn't the best person for me, or that I'll be better served in another relationship. Well, the thing is, I'm attached to Rachel. I love Rachel. I don't want to break up with Rachel, but obviously I'm not going to try to force her to stay if she doesn't want to stay. The thing is, she does want to stay, but to answer that question, somewhat depends on when you ask her. It's very easy for people to sit on the sidelines and take pot shots and try to reduce. Not even pot shots necessarily. Just be reductant about the whole thing and say, "Look, this reduces simply to meow or meow. Eric, you should just leave." Or Rachel doesn't want to be with you. You should let her go, or whatever. Keep in mind, at no point when she expresses that she wants to leave do I try to stop her or interfere with it or get in the way of it. If I can't believe that she basically and truly did want to leave, then I would not want her to stay. So the thing is, her dad's a good guy. And he loves her and cares about her a lot. And he bears a lot of brunt of some things sometimes too, If he's watching this, thanks. Appreciate your loving your daughter and genuinely caring about her.
You don't know. You didn't see what. I'm sure he loves me to some degree, but you didn't see me with him when he threw me outside.
Well, I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
In his dealings with you, he's extended every effort to try to make sure that you have another option. You have another alternative.
Yes.
He's acknowledged, to me anyway, that
he's an okay person.
There are some things he deeply regrets.
He's an okay person. He's okay.
That's a fairly ringing endorsement at the moment, actually. So
it is.
You should be pretty proud of that, Dad.
Yeah. You're better than
I'm not sure.
Inside the family.
So, anyway, I love my precious Rachel. Even when she's expressing a fair amount of hostility. And so she's also indicated that if people have any questions or anything, that she'd be willing to answer them.
I'm all messed up. Oh my gosh.
Rachel, I'm not saying that at all. That's not my message. My message is that this is an Effie. You're not listening to me anymore. Okay. Well, so she understands and respects that I have to. Rachel, can you turn that down, please? Rachel. 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 Can you turn that down a little bit, please?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to get copyrighted on that, So, anyhow, the thing is, to me, I get how frustrating it's got to be for Rachel to hear critiques from people who have no concept of what's really going on and or of what it's like to actually go through these kind of involuntary mood shifts and stuff. And for people who want to give me a lot of advice regarding, bro, like that kind of advice, it's not comparable to something else that might seem comparable to it. It's a different kind of experience. It's it's like there's two different people. Is everything okay? I mean, I think so. I hope so. It's been a rough couple of days. Yeah, our rooms are still going. They're sort of going again now, finally. For a brief while, they were hijacked by spike monkeys, but we should be done with that at this point. They'll probably gradually regather some decent people. What happened with me and Rachel, or?
No. I'm off. I'm just trying to see what comments are being made about me is all.
No comments are being made about you.
I know, I saw.
If you just listen,
It's fine.
Who's me? I don't know who MT is. I mean, nothing really happened. It's just, periodically, Rachel questions the viability of this relationship or whether she wants to be in it and such. And I respect that, I've indicated that I don't mean to. If she thinks she's gonna be happier single or with somebody else, that she should pursue that, But the problem is, it represents a position from which she'll usually revert 180 degrees on once a certain period of time has elapsed. it's kind of, I mean, I hear you, Michael. See, this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about, right? People want to reduce this to that sort of vector, right? And um, the reality is, it's more like she's got sort of uh, like sabotage Tourette's periodically or something, you know. But but the fact is, what people don't seem to understand is these kind of comments are based on the notion that everybody's replaceable. Well, I mean, I understand that it's historically been difficult to deal with, but it's also true that it's getting less impactful to me as I'm starting to recognize the pattern and hopefully adjusting well. Um, yeah, it's hard on me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's another factor here, which is we're stuck in this COVID bullshit, and it's an added group of stress, and so it's something that Swift Eagle. What I'm saying is the problem that everybody brings into this equation with their comments and stuff is they assume a relationship partner is fundamentally replaceable, and I'm saying I don't think that that's a correct perspective to bring into a relationship, especially if you've got a relationship that seems to have a lot of good things in it. Um, I don't believe in taking my relationships lightly. I don't. I don't want to. Um, I don't want to date somebody else. I don't want to be single again, and I don't want to be. I like Rachel. I love Rachel. Rachel and I have put in a lot of time together already, and we're tight. You know. It's really easy to give up on somebody when things are difficult. And that's part of the problem with the way people now engage in their relationships. I can ask her, Rachel, hey, Rachel, can I ask you? There's a question for you.
Okay.
It says, can we hear from Rachel? Why does she get these negative thoughts or feelings?
Because I'm not happy in the situation that I'm in now. I don't have a lot of space to myself. I moved and I don't know much of the area. Plus, I don't have a car, so COVID definitely has gotten to me. I don't usually have negative thoughts. They come about when I'm just not happy.
So, thank you. The thing is, of course, if she's not happy as a general thing, as a general rule, then I don't want to make her stay with me if I don't make her happy. Um, sure, INFJs need time alone to recharge. The thing is, I'm more than willing and do what I can to facilitate her having one of the other spaces to herself as much as possible. But I get that that's not the same thing as really having her own space, and that's a challenge that we both are dealing with, I guess. Luis Guimarães says, my brother is an INFJ and I can come off as overwhelming to him. Um, Rachel, do I come off as overwhelming to you?
What?
Do you find me overwhelming?
Sometimes, sure, but it's mostly when you're having like days of stuff that's constant, like constant wave of doing things. Then I get exhausted, yes. But I wouldn't say it's always.
Maybe a bed tent? I don't know. Um, she has an alternative if she prefers it, and her dad's getting moving to a new place, and she'll be able to move in with him if she wants to move out of here. I've suggested that you know if she wants to return to New York, we don't necessarily have to. No, her dad's staying in New York, uh, but um, that doesn't necessarily mean we have to break up. Uh, Obviously, if she wants to, then I'm not going to stop her. Right? The challenge for me is understanding what she really wants and when when what she's saying represents her overall position and when it just represents her mood at the moment is a challenge for me. Does Rachel struggle with her self worth? Um,
Yes, I've stated this on the channel.
yeah, I would say
Yes, I've stated this on the
yes, she
channel.
does. Yes, I would say specifically in this instance, it links to
Yes, I've definitely said more than once on the channel I struggle with my self worth. You should pay attention more.
um, here's a question: what is Rachel's dream scenario for us two?
Why would anyone ask that question?
Maybe it's not.
Dream scenario. I don't have dream scenarios because a lot of dream scenarios don't come true.
Okay, so
Do you have one?
me?
Yeah.
Uh, Not anymore. It's been destabilized. I'm not sure what's going on with us. I'll put it right here, MT.
What are you drinking?
The our rooms because MT asked for them. INFJ is going to be prone to mood swings, and sometimes it's hard to know what they want. Um, yeah, it can be a challenge for me. In general, I guess I would say that I tried to ask her about whether she wanted me to live stream or not beforehand. She suggested she wanted me to live stream, but not for her to necessarily participate in this specific question. So the question here is, would Rachel want a segment of this channel to give relationship advice or something like that?
I'm being mean. Fuck you, MT.
Have you heard of Kaczynski writing on the power process? No, I haven't heard of that.
Who am I being mean to? I was mean to him right then.
He's saying you're being mean to me. So if people don't have a goal or objective to work towards, they become depressed. I mean, I think that's true for TE Don people. I don't think it's true for TE polar people.
What's going on?
So Bruce says, he's talking about this person, Kaczynski, and he says that if people don't have a goal or objective to work towards, they become depressed. And I said, I think that's true for TE people, but not for TE polar people. I don't think that Rachel wants more clear utility. I think that might be the case for lots of people, but I really don't think it's the case here. I don't think she felt you were being a dick when you asked that question, Andrew Roth.
Stop talking about my bipolar too, because we're not really even sure if it's bipolar.
When did I use that term?
I'm just saying people have been bringing it up, and it's not actually accurate. We're not sure, so
Okay.
we prefer.
So yeah. Well, it's got to be intrinsic purpose though, because if it's, as soon as it becomes extrinsic and it's expectations, she doesn't like expectations put on her. So even if you're right, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, she's not feeling too great. And this is the thing. It's a reality that she deserves in this state a compassionate response. It's also a reality that she doesn't tend to elicit a compassionate response because of the way that this state manifests, which is not in a particularly pleasant fashion. It comprises a great conundrum for me because, of course, it's true. I have to consider ultimately whether this is too much volatility for me to take, you know? And it's proving more volatility than I expected. But it's also true that I truly love and value this person. I don't want to toss her aside. And I don't want to lie to myself either. I could just roll with Rachel's narrative when she's in a really negative space and say, well, you said this to me, and see you later. I wouldn't, I wouldn't feel like I was being honest about things. Because I know I'd be just another person using what she said or how she acted when she was crazy against her. And I don't want to be another person doing that shit. And then when she's not in this state of being, it's great. And I love her a lot. And at that point, I'm not interested in getting out of the relationship. And I just think, God, I sure do love this woman, and I sure do value having her in my life. So that's the reality, you know? It's a tricky, complicated reality. It's not as cut and dry as anybody wants to make it out to be. She and I are great together, and she's got Mr. Hyde. You know, what do you do when you love Dr. Jekyll? This is the thing. She's not crossing boundaries in a way that I can hold her accountable for those boundary crossings exactly. Now, I'm not saying I'd forgive anything in this if she does it in this state, but she's also pretty cautious in this state, not to hit below the belt, not to to manage how she attacks, I guess. Well, Luis Guimaraes, that's probably a correct assessment of her right now. But like an hour or two ago, she had the exact opposite position and was saying how she doesn't want to leave, she doesn't want to be separate from me and all that stuff. And is very convincing about that. I mean, I understand to a certain extent, Swift Eagle, what you're saying is legitimate concern. The problem is the alternative that she has, which is go to New York, be with her dad, and undergo mental health services at a different place than she was at before. She's not happy with that alternative either. It doesn't matter. She does have plenty of alone time, actually, Swift Eagle. She's alone right now. I afford her all the alone time she wants. The problem is she doesn't have a space that she feels real ownership of, in part, possibly. But again, remember, all the specific things that you can point to that might be a cause of our problems are things that I'm experiencing too, and yet I'm not engaging in this sort of meltdown, right? So we have to understand that that it's to the extent that you want to try to fix it with simple TE fixes, you're missing the boat. We're talking about a mental illness. So Boot says, didn't a few live streams ago say you didn't want to deal with the boat rocking? Yeah, I have said that before. It's something I've been thinking about today. Is this something I can deal with long term if it's this much volatility? It's an honest question that I'm asking myself. I mean, we have 2 rooms. We share them both. We're often occupying. And right now she's in the master bedroom, bathroom area, and I'm out here in the nest area. So the thing is, it's the point I'm trying to make is, I guess, that it makes a good example of how important it is to take a nuanced adult response to something. Which means, no, it's not a simple TE problem. No, it's not a simple you should break up with her thing. No, it's not a simple she obviously doesn't want to be with you or kind of thing. No, it's not any of those simple things. It just isn't. And that's the reality of it. One of the things that frustrates me is seeing Rachel frustrated by people's reductive and thoughtless comments and considerations. She's subject to going on little NI trip outs, like find some specific kind of sort of negative truth and catastrophize it. I'm not trying to force her to anything. I've encouraged her to do what she wants. I've encouraged her and offered to facilitate what she wants to do, I'm not trying to push her. we don't have that kind of room around here, Octavia Silva. I don't get that. I don't have that. I mean, we can't make the impossible happen. It may be the case that she needs to live separately from me as a consequence. We don't necessarily we don't necessarily have to live together. Oh yeah, she goes out for walks. She went out for a walk not that long ago. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be any better, really. I don't think so. I mean, Luis Guimaraes, as I said, she's she can spend as much time as she wants in either of these rooms separate from me, and does. But I cannot give her her own room in this house. I don't have the space for that. I don't have that room for her. I don't have it either. And like I said, simple TE solutions like that are not going to be meaningful. This is a more complicated kind of question. Would it be nice if we could try to solve everything that she could possibly raise as a problem? Sure, but the thing that people are kind of missing here is what I've noted as a pattern is that the problem always changes. It's always a new problem. So it's not meaningful. Whatever the problem is she's talking about is not actually a problem. It's the thing she's catastrophizing now. If there were actual problems, I'd hear about the same problem again and again until it got solved or it didn't, but that's not the case. She's always shifting justifications for having a problem from day to day, from moment to moment when she's in that state of negativity, So it's not something that can be solved like that. I can't fix things around here. Well, I understand what you're saying, Boot. And certainly there is it's not unreasonable to make those kind of comments, but you're neglecting everything that I've said about the complexity of the matter. The reality is that I do love her, and I don't enter into a relationship with the assumption that she's a relationship partner that's replaceable by another relationship partner. Many people do enter into relationships with that assumption. I think that's incorrect to enter into that assumption. And in reality, it's also the case that Rachel is genuinely precious to me as an individual human being, distinct from her role filling. It's the case sometimes that when we measure the other party in their role filling capacity, that we might determine that they're not fulfilling the role that we'd like them to fulfill, but they still have value inherently as a human being. I mean, that was before we had one room here. She had perfectly legitimate complaints then because we both had that same complaint. It was a problem. We didn't have enough space. Since now we have the master bedroom, master bathroom, plus this back house here, we can stay isolated from each other all day long. She can stay completely in isolation all day long. And sometimes she will isolate. So to the extent she needs more space than that, well, then she's just finding something that's there to catastrophize. It's not an actual problem. Now, it may be the case that we can't live together, in which case she should go back to New York, and we don't necessarily have to break up. Well, that's the thing, E3 Zombie. Most of the time, yes. Most of the time, yes. But during these periods of volatility, absolutely not. She's treating me as though she's treating me as though I'm the big disappointment that's going to drop the other shoe any moment now. So you're good with LDR? What's LDR? You mean LTR? Long-term relationships? Yeah, I'm very good with long-term relationships. I'm extremely good at them, and it could, um, it could probably work out fine if she were in New York. I don't understand why we would have to break up or why that would be the end of the relationship. But oh, long distance relationship. Okay. Well, Rachel said she's not doing it. Um, okay. So now, listen, Boot Andrew Roth. I get that. Here's the thing: when the relationship's going fine, I'm not likely. I'm a lot less likely to be talking about the relationship than when it's not going well. Does this match up to my percentages thing? I'm not sure, frankly. It's hard to say. I'd have to sort of keep better track of the data regarding that. Long distance relationships are. I mean, I didn't find it that bad when Rachel was in New York. I obviously there are downsides to it, but there are also upsides to it. It's like you get to have the question of dating resolved, but you also get to have lots of time to yourself. In the ideal circumstance, Rachel and I would probably be dating, but not living together. We'd be in a long term relationship, but we'd have separate residences. The um, the difficult reality is that's not an option available for us right now, and so we've got some less than ideal options to choose from. And I think Rachel feels kind of cornered, um, like it's, and I probably sort of even expressed this sentiment in the past, like, well, it's either this or we're done or something. I don't know, but no, the thing is, I don't mind long distance relationships because I'm trying to resolve with a relationship. First of all, this question of what's my dating status. Um, Obviously, Rachel has a somewhat limited social life. Uh, People tend to be pushed away during these episodes, and you know, the thing is, LDRs for me still solve the dating status problem. Um, and if you can see your significant other for a week every month or something, then that's not such a big deal. As I've gotten older, time seems like what used to seem like a long time doesn't seem like such a long time anymore. Rachel has no problem making friends. The thing is, people are very understanding of if you have a sickness or something, if it's physical. They tend to not be very understanding when the illness makes you unpleasant. I got you, Andrew Ruth. Listen, or Ruth, however you pronounce it. No, I don't think that of you. I'm gonna be thinking that. It's been a rough couple of days for me. It's true that there's a lot of volatility. It's true that I'd like things to be calmer. Um, but it's also true that what do you do when you really love Dr. Jekyll? And Dr. Jekyll sometimes turns into Mr. Hyde. And Dr. Jekyll is very accountable about Mr. Hyde, recognizes that certain things are not okay and that she's very sorry about it and stuff. What do you do in that circumstance, Because I really love her, she's great. And she's got this thing going on out of her control. It's not like your normal kind of it's not like my last relationship at all. Even when she's being mean and hurting my feelings, she's not really being mean and hurting my feelings. She's being really negative and unpleasant and making me feel unsafe in some ways, but she's not really typically attacking me very much. So it's interesting. And not really attacking in a lot of other ways either. She's a fundamentally good person. But it's also the case that she has her own dignity and her pride, and she wants to know that I'm with her for the right reasons. Okay, well, Mr. Hyde might be a little bit of an exaggeration. I didn't know that he actually killed people in that book, but regardless, the fact is, when you've got somebody who sort of displays according to a given norm for stretches of time, then deviates from that norm, it's a challenge to deal with. And that's the challenge I'm dealing with. So what I do, well, thing is, I love Rachel. And that's kind of all there is to it, I guess. And I don't want to lose Rachel. But I will if she really wants to lose me. I'm not going to try to hold her back or control her or anything. Right. Would you be able to handle this type of situation repeatedly in the long term? I understand that's the real question. Can I deal with this on a monthly basis? I don't think she wants to lose me either. I really don't think she does. I think that message that she tells me when she's in a different place than she is right now is the true one. She's getting all the care she needs. We've got a private psychiatrist. She's getting prescribed different drugs for this guy, and I don't know. I don't know. It's like, are they working great? Obviously not perfectly. She's kind of messing around with him a bit. Like, she didn't like this one that he put her on. She switched Well, she said she doesn't. They don't. She doesn't know what it is, and I respect that. I don't need it to have a name. So, yeah, it's not. It's not a lack of anything that we're doing. Not that we should be doing anything differently. It's not that the housing situation needs to be different. Um, we all have to make some sacrifices in life. She doesn't have, um, you know, a 2 bedroom house of her own, someplace where she can go live. Well, weird bad vibes. Well, she tells me different things at different times. Um, the usual answer is that she loves me a great deal. And then sometimes when she's not in that mood, then she has a different response.
So I'm back. I figured they could talk with me, not about me.
Okay. So, well, I agree. I'm not trying to dispute that. As she told me how she feels is the question we're addressing right now. I said, well, you tell me how you feel at different things at different times.
Yeah, like when I came here and like right away you had the lie about like masturbating, I was like, oh, we're off to a bad start.
Okay, well, just for reference here, I did lie to her for about 5 seconds about something in the bathroom before I admitted, no, I had that lotion out because I was masturbating with it. And I lied for about 5 seconds. And I immediately fessed up to it and said, I don't know why I told you that lie. So don't think that she's talking about anything real that's significant. That's ridiculous, of course.
No, that.
I mean, you know how honest I am and have always been with you. So,
Yeah.
I can think of a couple of lies, but we talked about those and that was
Yeah, the one about this private thing, and then your dad lying to your dad, and then the other thing, the masturbation thing.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, well, it was a momentary. I agree. I told her a lie for about 5 seconds. I immediately fessed up to it. Not sure why I told her. I was embarrassed. Tried to cover it up briefly, and then fessed up right away. Now, keep in mind, if we're gonna keep track of lies, you've lied to me left and right. You lied to me constantly. Tell me one thing, the next day you tell me the opposite. So you are no one to talk about lying, right?
Right.
I was momentarily embarrassed. I don't know why. Like I said, it was right after she came back from New York. Yes, I had masturbated in that bathroom when she and I were separated, of course. So I don't know. It's not the sort of thing that it's the catastrophized thing of the moment. Yeah, I know people are human. They feel embarrassed. The best you can do is hope that they fess up right away, come clean, like I did.
Weird. I'm surprised you were so like embarrassed about that.
I'm surprised too. Like I said, it was. I'm not completely
Okay.
perfect.
It's alright. It's alright.
So Rachel, nobody's talking shit about you here,
I know. I didn't think they were, but I'm just
including
saying.
me. I'm
Okay,
not,
alright.
I'm not even talking about you
That-
behind your back or anything like
That's
that.
great.
I'm just saying the realities that we're going through here.
It's fine.
What would you like to do? You want me to stop it?
No. What you do want?
Can Rachel say what she thinks happened? Well, I don't know. What do you think happened, Rachel?
I don't know. I just think that like we're not getting married or anything. Like, we're
Why
not gonna
not?
have a kid together. Well, I don't think we should get married because of my mental state. I'm never gonna be stable, so
Okay.
but
So-
it does like upset me.
So you decided you're not going to marry me, and that's the reason why we're not going to work out?
Well, I just think that there's someone more stable and like consistent for you. This is part of me, I guess, and or like you're like saying it's part of me. So, I want you to be happy. I don't want you to be like constantly like wondering.
I'm not wondering. You're wondering.
Yeah, but I don't want you to have to deal with my wondering.
Okay, well, you could. Maureen Brown, Tori, listen. You know spite monkeys aren't allowed.
I do feel like a burden. I felt like a burden since I came here. We couldn't be upfront with his dad because like we didn't have exact living arrangements like worked out because his dad thought that I was going to be here for a week and then go back to New York and then come back, and that was a lie. Because
It wasn't a lie, Rachel.
Well,
it was what? Listen, there was no lying
It
involved.
was just not ever worked out.
But there was no lying involved.
All right, so there wasn't a lie, but there was never any working out of exactly what.
Because there was I worked out as best I could with
I
the
know.
information I had.
I know you did. I'm not blaming you. I'm saying the whole thing.
Okay, well, so the whole thing is not ideal.
Tarnished.
Tarnished. I mean, these are all your words, not mine. These are all your storylines, not mine.
Okay, then I will stop.
I know she thinks I can do better.
I do think that he can because I am like this. Like I do, like talk back. I do get fiery.
Talking back and getting fiery are not problems in our relationship.
Fine. What am I gonna say?
And Tatum is right.
So what? Then you'll get something better. Isn't that good?
Rachel, I don't want to be with somebody else. Why don't you accept that reality?
All right, fine. I just don't want to. I don't really. I want to be by myself, I guess. I want to feel deserving of love. I don't feel deserving of love.
You want a hug?
No. I don't care if I don't get to decide. I just get to decide that I'm not happy and I'm not sure if I want this. Do you see there's two people in this relationship? He chooses me, but I don't know if I'm choosing him.
That's fine. If you don't, that's fine. If you choose
So
not
let
me.
me get that. I'm just saying, like, I don't like when people say that, like, statement because it's only one-sided.
Okay.
So Eagle's right.
Well, we do have that. Well, you said you didn't want to do that, so I guess we don't have that option. I'd suggested that an LDR would seem to be a good
No.
compromise, but
It's
Rachel's
not a good idea, I'm telling you.
okay.
Trouble's at the door.
That's my problem too.
I really do think that
I can't
there
tell that
is
either.
someone better for him. I am a high maintenance person to be with. I'm not self-aware. And Eric is very low maintenance. He should be someone who's low maintenance as well. So it's kind of like, easy going.
yeah, I'm pretty easygoing. I try to romance her as best I can. If I'm inadequate in that, that's a shortcoming of mine, I guess. I do the best I can for her. I try to love her as best I can.
I do too. It feels transactional. I have sex with him. He says it's my job during sex. It doesn't feel good.
I don't say that anymore because
And then I feel
Why
my
would you
worth
say
is
that?
that. Like it's like it sucks. And then it's like, well, maybe I should be cooking for more.
Rachel, if I told you that was your job, you wouldn't want to do that either.
I do feel like a burden to him.
Why would a high maintenance person cater to another high maintenance? I'm not high maintenance. Though. I'm low maintenance.
No, he's low maintenance, I said.
Yeah, I'm
He needs a
extremely
low maintenance girl, is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty catering.
Although you do get angry, you've yelled at everyone pretty much in this chat right now.
Yeah, I get angry. I'm pretty catery.
Exactly. What do I give you that no one else has? You don't tell me special things. It's just generalizations.
No, I tell you.
I feel like I'm just another one of your girlfriends. You say the same thing to all of them.
No, that's not true.
Precious, perfect angel. It's like, just like, you're gonna say the same stuff to the next person.
It's probably true, Rachel, that I'm going to treat my next girlfriend, if I have to have one, well also. I'm also going to treat her well. That's true. I'm also going to love her properly. That's true. I'm not going to mistreat her, and I'm going to do my best, just like I do with you. Why is that a problem?
Okay, whatever, you guys. I'll do it. Let's see.
I've gone over that stuff plenty of times, guys.
I don't.
I've gone over that stuff plenty of times. Look, the thing is, I can't constantly be playing dance monkey. Every time she feels doubt and she wants to go,
right.
Here's the reason why we're going to fail. And I'm supposed to go, oh, no, we're not going to fail because you're so special. I'm not going to play dance monkey.
That's fine.
And,
I don't really care.
I don't even think that that's what she wants because even if I do.
I don't think I would believe you.
Well, no, you often do. But the point is that you do.
No, I'm not trying to make you dance.
What happens is I'll say something and you'll say, yeah, but, and then tell me some negative thing. And I'll say, but this positive thing. You say, yeah, but, and say some negative thing. It's usually not difficult, but it is right now. Well, Zaylen Black, because, of course, I'm a human being too. I'm bearing the burden of most of this, and
I don't care about the self-fulfilling prophecy. I already know the opposite end of it. The opposite end of it is me going to New York and living with my dad. What's the big deal? I have two options. When I said I would date him, but I didn't think that I would be the best for him. I didn't know how this was gonna go. So then I'll be a ghost on this channel, and that's it.
Oh, is she? So what do you want? Rachel says IAG last.
I guess I want to leave.
Okay.
Victoria's moving in.
When?
Soon.
Okay, so do you want to find out when?
I asked, my dad's working on it.
Okay. And then I'll get you, I guess, either a train ticket or a plane ticket.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go buy a train.
Okay. So here's the thing. Gemini Mate says Rachel needs more FI loving. Philip Bruce says she start for FI. And do you think that's the case? You think I'm not giving you enough FI?
I'm not thinking anything right now.
I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think I love her a lot and show her that a lot, actually. Very affectionate. Hug a lot. That's not because of me. Remember, it's not the case necessarily that she starved for FI because I'm not providing it. She's not feeling value because I don't value her, or that I don't express that. I do express those things. I do value her. But there is not a lack of FI to be heard in my voice. I genuinely do feel those things for her. Well, Susie, how does she make me feel? Good and bad. Depending on the day, I guess. Well, I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't know. People can hypothesize all you want about whether or not she's getting enough FI from me, but if she's not, then it's not possible for me to give it because I'm loving her to the best of my ability. And if that doesn't include adequate FI, then I guess I just don't have that ability. You know, I can only do the best I can. So, I mean, the thing is, I do think that Rachel will find some aspects of being single easier. I will too. Or being long distance, but I guess not. Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's this whole timing reality, which is her dad moving out of that place and being able to give her this other option that's sort of happening concurrently with this settling down on some negative understandings of her current situation, and it seems kind of slab oriented, I guess, slab directed. The thing is, I'd be more upset. I'd be a lot more upset, and I probably will be more upset later on about it. But except there's she's gotten me conditioned to the idea over the course of the last couple of days. She's sold me so fully on the notion that I started ideating about the post-relationship narratives and stuff. So she may yet pull back from this. I think if she wakes up in the morning and is in a different state of mind or mood, then she may. I don't know. But the reality is, there's equality. There's a lot of volatility here, and I don't like the volatility. It makes me unhappy. I'd like to see it stop. Intuition has one major weakness in that it sees the ideal as more real than what might be achievable. Well, especially INFJ intuition because of the TE polar. Are you packing?
I'm just separating my stuff.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jim Ross. Listen, the key thing here is if this does end up sort of completing or whatever, Rachel is a wonderful human being, and I don't want any negative shit going said about her. I'm not going to say any negative things about her at all. I have nothing negative to say about Rachel, and I hope nobody else does either. My takeaway from this is that it's tragic, it's unfortunate, not that it's. She doesn't have accountability avoidance syndrome, unlike a lot of people that I've dealt with in the past. She does not, and I have a lot of respect for her. She's a good human being. She's got a good, clear moral center, and I love her. So.
This doesn't sound genuine like at all.
What?
Nothing.
It doesn't what?
Nothing.
You saying it didn't sound authentic?
Yeah, it didn't.
Okay, well.
It's okay. You're not in like an authentic, like happy.
I mean, I've
I
got my emotion button turned down as low as I can right now.
Right.
Because I don't want to experience a lot of suffering,
Yeah, I know.
So, it's not the case, McDrama Bear, that all happiness is generated from within or without. It is the case that it's a mix of those two things.
I think we're just too different.
Well, I think the volatility probably takes too much out of me. the thing is, Philip Drew says, Eric, tell her you need her, tell her you can't live without her. I'm not feeling that way right now. I don't feel that way at all right now. I feel hurt. I feel, you know, I feel like I've done all the battling I can do on this. I've battled her left and right on this point. I fought for her. I fought for her. I fought for her. And I've asked her on a number of occasions to fight for me. For whatever reason, she's either can't or won't. She's told me she's not a fighter. She's, you know. I don't have the energy to fight for her right now. I'm not trying to engage the feeling type logically. I'm engaging my own feelings reasonably.
I mean,
No, Phil Drew, I'm taking care of my own feelings here. This is the thing that people always forget. I gotta worry about my own feelings too. I can't just keep fighting to get Rachel back in the boat, only have her jump out of the boat again, swim the opposite direction, me jump out of the boat, swim after her, pull her back into the boat again. I can't keep doing that.
no, and there's someone who wants to stay in there with you.
Oh, but I mean, the thing is, I have fought this fight over and over and over again. Everyone's assuming also that this represents Rachel right now. I'm not sure if it does or not. It's hard to tell.
I don't care what they say.
I mean, look, this is the thing, the condition I said at the beginning of my, at the end of my last relationship, the thing I said I would never do again was be the one who fights for the relationship while the other person threatens to leave or says they're going to leave or whatever. I said, I can't do that again.
I want you to. I
And
don't want you to fight for it. I just want it to happen if it's supposed to happen. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
And in this case, I've had to do that anyway. Even though I said I wasn't going to, I've done it a lot. I fought a lot for this relationship.
Yeah,
I fought hard for
I
it.
want to say you. I want you to be happy.
So
Okay,
in this
I'm
instance, well, I mean, yeah, she's gonna bounce. Sounds like. Yeah, Ghost Rider. I'm sure it is.
Love is worth fighting for is such like a cliche. Are you fighting for love right now?
I was just finding what Ghost Rider said. Ghost Rider says this is a script that runs.
Yeah, the love is whatever.
No, this set of behaviors you're engaged in.
Whatever. She say whatever she wants.
So anyway, I will say it's true that she's been forcing it for a while now. And I can... You guys had a great time together, says Matthew Alistair. It's only bad in the light of the expectation it would have had to last forever. Without that expectation, it isn't even tragic. Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's obviously going to take me some time to process this thing. I don't... it's like I
I think we did what we could.
yeah. I mean, I think we did too. We gave it a good shot.
Yeah. Twice.
Yeah. I mean, once, but
Well, I had to go back.
we never broke
Doesn't really
up.
count though. Yeah, we didn't see each other every day.
We didn't break up though. So we just had.
No, but I was lonely as hell. That sucks.
Okay, but I'm just saying we didn't try it twice. We tried it once. We didn't try it, break up, and then try it again.
Yeah. No, we've only broken up this.
Jenny B says, I don't know if this helps, but I've seen a similar dynamic. My mom threatens to leave my dad at least twice a week, and they've been together for 25 years. Yeah, it's not putting me in a fair position. It's really challenging. And no, I mean, look, once we're broken up, we're broken up. And it's over, and that's it. I don't do get back together, break up things. But we'll see. I guess we're that's it. Yeah, probably generalist. I don't know.
What?
Generalist says you all will be back tomorrow
Love is love.
because you'll change your mood and you'll be like, I was wrong. I don't want to leave or something.
Maybe.
But I bet you're wrong about that.
What?
I said, I bet she wanted you to stop live streaming and fix the problem.
I want him to do what he wants.
When we were trying talking before, it wasn't very successful. I don't think. Do you want me to fix the problem? What problem do you want me to
I
fix?
mean, I want you to do what you want to do right now.
No, I'm saying in general, I guess. Or yeah, I guess right now. Do you want to talk to me? We thought like.
Of course.
Well, we talked a lot prior to start. It's not like.
Well, I only want you to right. Like, I only want you to talk if there was something that came into your mind that's specific that you like. I guess I could give you some answers to, right?
I mean.
You know, I'm like, I feel like I'm too young for you sometimes. That like I just like there are some things that I just don't understand, and I wish I did, but it's like so foreign. And then there's some things, I just don't, and I am like this. My dad told you over the phone, my loving dad. He likes to talk about his daughter so much and how she has bipolar and she gets moods like that. If there was a recording of me in the house of my moods, it would not look like that at all. But anyway,
Here's the thing, Susie. You say here she wants you to do what you want to do, and I think she hopes you want to talk to her and not about her. Just want to guess. The thing,
yeah,
of
I
course,
don't like to be talked about.
the thing, of course, that people ignore is I've been talking to her for days. That's why I haven't been live streaming.
I figured you would have to get it off your chest.
Well, I try not to talk about you. I try to talk to you as best I can. And
You
I
did.
have been
You did.
talking to you for days.
You did. You did. He did everything he could. He's a perfect boyfriend. I have nothing bad to say about him at all either. So I just think that I'm a difficult partner to be with, and that there's someone easier to be with. That's it.
Again, guys, I've been trying that approach for days, Swift Eagle. Again, Swift Eagle, been trying that approach for days. This is me handling my business by trying a different approach. That approach wasn't working. I'm not saying Rachel's necessarily the issue either. Maybe I am the issue. If you want to point to specific things I need to do differently, that's fine. The problem is you keep pointing to things that aren't legit. Like, I'm doing the best I can possible with the space we have. I can't afford her any more opportunity for private space than I do. So it's like
hide away somewhere so that I don't have to hear any of this.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get the narrative straight here for us both.
Fine.
I'm just trying to be honest about everything and I'm not martyring myself. Why would you say I'm martyring myself? I said I'm open to critique if it's legitimate. Nothing wrong with that. MT, you're ignoring me. You're ignoring me. I've taken that approach for days now. You're ignoring what I'm saying. That this is the alternative to the approach that hasn't worked for days now.
Where are the regulars?
I mean,
email deaths.
There's King Christians. There's plenty of regulars here. There's different, Nicholas Watson.
Hey. You got a view count.
Yeah. So, I don't want to argue to get answers. I'm not trying to argue. Okay? No, what introvert thinker, the thing is, of course, you would have been right. You totally would have been right about what you said before. Except for what I said made you wrong about it, right? Because if, in fact, I hadn't tried that for days, you would have been right. But instead, because of the thing I said, you were wrong. The thing is, it's very feasible to critique me for trying to talk about Rachel. I do, I think, a
You do fine.
very good job with that in general. And I try my best. I mean, people find whatever they can to critique me for. People are desperate to critique me, and they'll try to frame any little thing into some sort of horrible character flaw.
Fine.
Well, Drew, it's not true that I've been using TI on her for days. You know, last night I think it was, I said to her, Rachel, you understand I love you and your baggage. I love everything about you. You know, I take you as you are. This was not a TI thing, right? And she said, you always know how to say the right thing. And it was a nice moment. Um, I'm trying my best to deal with the world as best I can. Does that mean I'm always stuck in TI when I shouldn't be? No, a lot of times I am. It's fair enough and true that a lot of times when Rachel's saying things that I don't like to hear, I'll point out that this is contradicting something else or whatever. But you know, I try to be fair. I try to be.
You are. Yes, you are. Because you cover all your tracks. Everyone knows you're the right one all the time.
Am I honest? Yeah. I'm not.
Sometimes.
No,
Most
Rachel.
of the time.
Almost always. Okay. Almost always. I mean, don't try to position it as anything other than that. I've been nothing but incredibly honest with you.
I was wrong.
Mortgage says, so is Rachel's main reason because she feels she's too high maintenance for you? Because if so, do you even think she's that high maintenance? I mean, I think these episodes are are quite taxing. It's it takes all my energy.
That's true. So that is exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I've been trying to say for a while so that we wouldn't get close.
You're trying to say what?
That there would be someone better for you.
I've not said that.
I have.
I
I
know.
think I should have stuck to it. No, I thought it could get better. I thought that, with a good medicine or whatever, I've been sleeping, but it hasn't changed.
Nicholas Watson, Richard Marks, if you want to know if a man is honest, ask him. If he says yes, he must be a crook. That's not true.
You
I'm an
can ask
honest
me
man.
anything. Ask me. Ask me a yes or no question. I'll give you an answer.
We're not married, Levi Samuels.
No, you're not. We're not even engaged.
So, Moochin, you did not just say that nonsense, did you? Probably should remove sugar from your diet and see how that impacts your mental well-being. It would make me want sugar, obviously. That's how it would impact my mental well-being. Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's sad. Moritz says there's always someone better. Why does that matter? You love Rachel for who she is. It shouldn't matter that someone out there might be a better fit.
So why would you want the better fit? That makes no sense. Why settle?
Because then you never are with anybody permanently.
That's not true.
Well, but
Why settle?
hold on, Rachel.
I would never.
Let's say I were to get. Hold on.
Into your life
Hold on a
give
second.
You more. I would never ever stop you from getting.
Hold on a second, Rachel.
Better for you.
Hold on a second. Let's say I went out there and I found the absolute perfect person for me, who offered me so much and ask so little.
Man, I'd be like, she sounds like she's great for you.
It's probably, I'd feel like you do right now.
I think that
Not good enough for that person.
I think you'd be what? No, I would be happy for
No,
you.
but Rachel, I wouldn't be happy because I'd be feeling like you feel right now. Not good enough for that person. After all, if this person's so fucking perfect for me, then I must clearly not be good enough for that person, right? If they're like so amazing, this supermodel who's an expert on cognitive functions and likes everything that I like exactly the same and is constantly affirming me and serving my every whim or something. I mean, it's like I wouldn't. What? Huh? I have never told Rachel she is not good enough. I've told Rachel she's good enough plenty of times. I told her she's the person I want to be with. That she is the person that I have chosen and that I continue to choose because I love her and I value her. I've told her these things many, many times. Okay, well, Cincinnati strumming, that is certainly a plausible theory. And based on anybody coming in and looking at this immediate data, I would say that is a conclusion that plenty of people would draw, which is she's doing the it's not me, it's you thing. It's not you, it's me thing.
I actually believe that because I have mental health issues or whatever. And so I get difficult at times. So I'm high maintenance. Therefore, someone else is out there who's easier to deal with. It's not just at first maybe the first time it happened, but then I realized I'm like, I'm actually a pretty difficult person.
Okay, but the thing is, let's say you felt good enough for the person you were with. Don't you suspect that you then would feel they weren't good enough for you?
I don't know.
I think that's how INFJs work, basically. If you're good enough for them, then they're not good enough for you. But if you're good enough for them, then they're not good enough for you.
The only one I could think of was ESFJ that wasn't good enough for me because I'm his supervisor type and he was able to satisfy me.
What would make you feel good enough, Tatum asks.
You just stop asking questions like that.
Who? Me?
Tatum.
Tatum?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Cincinnati Strumming, I am not stopping her. You've misinterpreted the circumstance here.
So the answer to the question is for me to feel better, you should stop asking me questions like that.
Okay.
Tatum.
Okay.
I was asking. Answer the question.
Okay. INFJ, Levi. You're wrong about that Swift Eagle. She's so not SI, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no connections to anything. That's why I can leave and it doesn't matter. Only because of later.
Yeah, well. Just because ISFJs tend to catastrophize and Rachel's catastrophizing doesn't mean she's catastrophizing like ISFJs catastrophize. She's catastrophizing in a totally different way.
Yeah, I don't believe the world is like flat or the world is ending or that like COVID is gonna like attack everyone. I believe that the world sucks and that no one really cares about each other and that we're all just a cog in this like wheel of life and we're working for the man and no one questions anything. That's what I catastrophize about. Not COVID.
Well, I'm talking more specifically about the relationship, I guess. Look, I don't think Rachel is imagining a specific preferable relationship to this one. I think she's imagining that she's gonna be overall happier when she's single again. But I could be wrong. But I think that's the case. Is that you said it's correct?
Yes. That it would be happy again.
Are you looking for?
Like that. Let's keep it outside.
Here it is.
Yeah, like another brick in the wall.
Well, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up for pretty soon here now, and maybe try to go to bed. I'm suddenly feeling very sad. Tell Rachel to yell all her resentments at me. Okay, I'll ask her to do that. Tell me all the resentments. I'm sad now. I gotta go to bed. Yeah, it sucks.
Why are you chiming in now? Have you even watched this ever before? Or is it just because it's a breakup that's why you're watching?
No, I won't. Go through.
What did he say?
She said if you if you say your resentments, I just explain or counter them with Ti.
No, I mean, like, I don't really feel like I'm a part of this community. I came in here, in and out. Like, I feel like King and Krishna, some bigger, like, I remember, like, you, like, and I came into the rooms around the same time because, Eric said that he can make a song out of my name but not yours, and then you dared him to, and then he came up with the King Krishna Summer Cuckoo song. So like that's when I really like started becoming a part of the community. Before that, I didn't even really watch anything. I mean, I would look up like Enneagram stuff because that's what I was looking up on YouTube mostly, and that's how I came across talking with famous people. But other than that, like I really didn't understand the cognitive functions, so I didn't watch many of them. I did watch some of the compatibility ones because I didn't know what duality was, and I was confused why the socionics had some of the J's and the P's mixed up, and that solved that for me. And what sold me was the music.
Well, regardless, Rachel,
Wrong.
you'll always be welcome around here.
I don't really. I mean, like, I appreciate that, but I mean, that'd be ridiculous.
What I'm saying is, you may choose to not cross the bridge, but you can't burn
That
it.
would be like so heartbreaking. Like, why would two exes want to talk to each other through the internet? Like, we don't mean anything like that, like to each other anymore. Why would I want to create more pain by like having you still in my life?
Okay.
I couldn't do that.
Okay. I'm just telling you
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you.
that the community at large will still be here, whether you engage me directly or not. I guess I gotta go to bed now. If I can't sleep, it doesn't suck to be alone that much. It really doesn't. The part I can't stand is the dating part. Being in a relationship's fine.
Yeah,
Being
that's why you're
alone's
trying
fine.
to be in a long distance relationship so that you wouldn't have to like go through dating again. Sorry, man, that's part of it. I don't want to just be your girlfriend because you don't want to have to go through dating again.
Like I just said, Rachel, being single's fine. Being in a relationship's fine. I don't like the dating part. You know. Mm. I mean, look, the thing is, Cincinnati's drumming. I have a weird situation with that.
What?
Rod just laughing at Mooj's comment here. Can't wait for robot bang maid cooks.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have some like crazy ass like weirdo shit.
Talking about the future.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We'll have.
Dating is hard because of a lack of shared value systems. Probably true.
You don't even have to. You have a community.
I mean, that's what I mean by I mean,
We
what
can date, so that doesn't mean that you don't have to. You know, you don't have to date. We didn't date.
that's what I mean by moving in a weird position.
Yeah, I think that you'll be able to find someone through the community, and then maybe for like a month or whatever, a month to two, you can like date a little bit, and then see like maybe someone who lives closer even.
The thing is, Rachel, you're killing me with this shit.
It's like,
Can we just go to bed?
yeah.
Figure out what's happening in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I have to take my medicine.
Yeah. A codependent relationship is one where each person is trying to be solely responsible for the other's happiness. I'm not trying to be solely responsible for her happiness. She's not trying to be solely responsible
Is
for
this
mine.
still old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too old doesn't work.
I'm not sure there's anything in it. It's all dried.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
My dad might have some fresher stuff in the kitchen.
Cool.
I mean, the thing is, I don't think there's gonna be any blow up. I'm not mad. I'm not trying to control. You know, she's gonna have the position she's gonna have. It may or may not change, and at this point, I don't know. It seems like we're probably meant to be in. Maybe this is meant to go along with the transition, so with her father moving out of that house, and I don't know. I don't know what to think, but I know I need to go to sleep. I think any more thinking at this point is just counterproductive. I'm tired and my heart aches. If I can't sleep, Eric, you need to make a grand move that wins her FI. Man, it's hard. And when I'm hurting.
It's hard to. Whatever, Cincinnati. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Wow.
She knows I love her, and I tell her that all the time.
And that was kind of bitchy. Gonna say it straight.
You don't realize how much you really should watch what you say to other people, because it might be offensive.
Dandy's with Rachel in this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks for wishing me luck. I'm not I'm not sad about this too, because I really am.
I'm really sad.
Thanks. I hope I feel better too. I laid you last.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're gonna call it a night.